أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله. In the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Merciful, all praises are due to Allah. May the peace and blessings be upon His Prophet. Brothers and sisters in Islam, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. And also to the rest of the world, those who believe in what I believe or not, I greet you with the greetings of peace. Ours is appreciating our diversity. And therefore, here on our platform, we always appreciate your participation, regardless whether you are a Muslim or not, because I've heard even from some of my colleagues who have appreciated or who are appreciating our lectures and may not be Muslims. Thank you. We appreciate it. As always, we begin with the attitude of gratitude, thanking Allah the Almighty for His blessings that are innumerable. Again, we are back on this blessed platform pertaining to marital counseling. And here we are reading or sharing from our book, Introduction to Islamic Marital Counseling. Indeed, a few things before we actually continue from where we stopped. We have mentioned that counseling is the process of active listening to the verbal and nonverbal communication of the other, aiming to help them. And therefore, in brief, counseling is, from the Islamic point of view, a nasiha, sincere advice. And also, we have mentioned that counseling as a collaborative process between the counselor and the counselee. The counselor is actually leading this process, but the counselee ought to contribute, perhaps more than the counselor, because we need information before we are able to help. So it is a collaborative effort. And again, we have mentioned that indeed the counselor, as a human and as a student, as a human, that we are imperfect. Imperfection belongs to us. We are not angels. And we have mentioned that a couple of times. We make mistakes. But surely, if we make mistakes, we must accept responsibilities. So we are human. And also as students, meaning we are always learning, always improving ourselves. Again, counselor as a role model. As a role model, a counselor ought to be a trustworthy person. A counselor ought to be a respectful person. A counselor ought to be a sincere person with that sense of humor. That before he can help the other, he must start with himself. أتأمرون الناس بالبر وتنسون أنفسكم وأنتم تتلون الكتاب فلا تعقلون. We have mentioned that. أيها الذين آمنوا لما تقولون ما لا تفعلون كبر مقتا عند الله أن تقولوا ما لا تفعلون. It is serious, a grievous sin for you to say that which you do not do. Therefore, as a counselor, you are a role model. You must start with the self, meaning if it is about marital issues as we're doing right now, start with your relationship with your spouse. No harming, no harm, no reciprocating harm. لا ضرر ولا ضرار. So, also ethical rules pertaining to this field of counseling. We have mentioned that, brothers and sisters in Islam, rights must be observed. As a counselor, you have your rights. Also, the counselee has his or her rights. For example, this is a profession for many of us. Therefore, it is an honesty. The counselor ought to be very honest and say, these are my rights and these are your rights. Some do charge that, this is what I would get. So be honest. It is a profession, but do not overdo it. Well, perhaps somebody would ask me, Imam, what about you? Well, I have on many occasions told brothers and sisters that request my service. If they ask me, what I tell them is that I do not charge. However, فَقَدِّمُوا بَيْنَ يَدَيْ نَجْوَاكُمْ صَدَقَةً. It would be good, the office of the Imam, if you help with something, congratulations, beautiful. Other than that, we will not. But indeed, I'll be very honest with you. A lot of brothers rely after Allah on counseling. And therefore, brothers and sisters in Islam, let's do our utmost best to help them. It is necessary. Sometimes Muslims would say, well, fi sabilillah, let's do it for the sake of Allah. Well, he's a human and has needs. And therefore, if he's taking an hour or two out of his time, yes, we have to appreciate their service. So, rights, because counseling can actually be emotionally draining. Because it is not only one time, two times. Sometimes we do help. We do counsel people hours and hours. So rights. As the counselor, don't forget your rights. Likewise, let the counselee know their rights. The law of confidentiality. It's a part of the ethical rules. This is very, very important. Ethical rules. And the law of confidentiality. A lot of people will not go to a certain imam or certain leadership of the community because they are exposed. Their privacy is no more a privacy. It has been shared with others. No. The law of confidentiality are to be observed. If you would succeed as a teacher, as a counselor, definitely you must respect people's rights, people's secret. Confidentialities, do not joke, do not neglect, do not abandon them. We all have something in life, or part of our lives, or part of our experience in life that we don't want anybody to know. So if he or she shares with you, be honest. لا يستر عبد عبدا في الدنيا إلا ستره الله يوم القيامة. A slave, a servant of Allah will not protect his brother's privacy, except that Allah will protect his in the hereafter. So please, the law of confidentiality must be respected if you and I will succeed as counselors. That is why it is necessary to make sure that the environment of counseling is scrutinized and protected. And also be very careful when we have a lot of people claiming to be counselors pertaining to an individual or a family. Be very careful. Boundaries. We all have our boundaries. And boundaries must never be neglected also. Boundaries, part of that which is discouraged. You cannot be a counselor regarding marital affairs and at the same time opening another door or open another relationship because that person is rich. Therefore, you want to start business. Well, since you have money, I have some business. What can we do to help each other? No. Do not. This person came to you, and therefore, concentrate on that which you are dealing with. Don't open another door because you think there is an opportunity. Don't do it. Referral. Well, if this person, the counselee, showed interest of opening some form of relationship with you, business transactions with you, then the door of marital counseling ought to be closed. You cannot be a counselor and a partner at the same time with business. So then you will have to refer them to another counselor. It protects you. It protects your honor. It protects your deen. Because you don't want people out there to be saying this imam or this person takes advantage of people. Don't do it. So if that happened, then definitely, professionally, it is better that you refer them to a different counselor. Now, part of what we will be discussing today, precautions before the interview. Because we have to hear from the counselee why they came to us asking for help. Because the only way we can help them, brothers and sisters in Islam, is opening the door of communication, positive communication, active listening. So before that, before asking them to share with us why they came to us, it is necessary that we know the following. Clear verses on clear issues. Meaning, is this issue very easy to understand, or it is actually something that needs a lot of energy and time? You need to understand this. 2, new versus unresolved issue. If is this matter a new problem in their relationship, or it is actually an old issue that keeps occurring? It's necessary for you to understand this before you even start interviewing. 3, genuine versus those counselees that are genuine and those counselees that are manipulators. You need to know there are genuine counselees. Likewise, there are those who manipulate. They come seeking nothing but an opportunity. As a counselor, you have to be extremely, extremely careful. Then you also have to understand there are counselees that cooperate. There are those who resist. Regardless of what you do, regardless of how much time and energy you put in, they will not cooperate at all. They will resist. You need to understand this reality. And also, brothers and sisters in Islam, it is not easy dealing with people. Do your best. Leave the rest with Allah. Do your best and leave the rest with Allah. Even Muhammad, may peace and blessings be upon him, Allah said to him, إنك لا تهدي من أحببت ولكن الله يهدي من يشاء. Oh Muhammad, you cannot guide whom you will or you please, but Allah guides whomever He will. So guidance is not in our hands. You can try to help, but remember, solution to this problem is from the creator of all, Allah. You can try and try and try. Some families, some marriages will end up divorcing or separating, regardless of how much energy you have put in. Don't be discouraged. Do not lose hope. That is the nature of relationship. So, you cannot please everyone. No, you can't. Yours is to be honest. Yours is to be sincere. Yours to use that sense of humor. Yours is to Listen attentively with the intention of help, but help comes from Allah. Remember that. Sometimes some of my colleagues would call me, Imam, realistically, I'm unable to do this no more. This is killing me. I've counseled this family, they end up divorcing. I've counseled the other family, they still are having problems. Yes, that is the nature of man. That is the nature of man. ولو شاء ربك لجعل الناس أمة واحدة ولا يزالون مختلفين إلا من رحم ربك ولذلك خلقهم. Had your Lord will, He will have created all Muslims. He will have created all Jews. He will have created all Christians. But that's not the plan of Allah. So whether you try to make everybody in this world Muslim, yes, ours is to convey the message of Islam. But guess what? There will still be non-Muslims. So our goal is to appreciate one another and leave the rest with Allah Wahidul Qahar. But always remember, never ever compromise justice. Never. Never ever compromise justice. In Surah An-Nisa, if we speak about justice, brothers and sisters in Islam, justice and honesty toward your close relatives, justice and honesty toward those that perhaps are enemies. And read Surah Al-Ma'idah, verse 8. When Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said clearly, be just and be honest. وَلَا يَجْرِمَنَّكُمْ شَنَآنُ قَوْمٍ عَلَىٰ أَلَّا تَعْدِلُوا اعْدِلُوا هُوَ أَقْرَبُ لِلتَّقْوَىٰ وَاتَّقُوا اللَّهَ إِنَّ اللَّهَ خَبِيرٌ بِمَا تَعْمَلُونَ. Just because of the hatred of certain people or some people, that should cause you to derail from being honest. Allah said, don't do it. Regardless whether they are friends or foes, be just. Huwa aqrabu littaqwa. Our Creator said, it is closer to piety. Please, brothers and sisters in Islam, we are in trouble today because we love to hate. No. Convey the message and leave the rest with Allah. Appreciate the other. Celebrate our diversity. But as mentioned earlier, well, mine is better. Mine is the perfect guidance, alhamdulillah. But I appreciate and respect who you are. Let's remember that. So that is justice, or being honest with those that may be of those that are not friends. In Surah An-Nisa, meaning Surah 4, the first one is Surah 5, verse 8. This Surah 4, verse 135. يا أيها الذين آمنوا كونوا قوامين بالقسط شهداء لله ولو على أنفسكم أو الوالدين والأقربين إن يكن غنيا أو فقيرا فالله أولى بهما فلا تتبعوا الهوى أن تعدلوا وإن تلوا أو تؤردوا فإن الله كان ما تعملون خبيرا. That, in brief, all you who believe, be just, be honest. Even if it is on yourself, be just and honest. There's nothing wrong. Look, there's something that I've learned in this part of the world, meaning America, that the more you keep pushing, I did not do it, no, I did not see it, I did not do it, the more you create more enemies. Because people know you did it. But the moment you come out and say, I did it, I'm wrong, I made a mistake, and I'm willing to pay for whatever, Americans are willing to forgive you. Take responsibilities. So even though it is on yourself, awul walidain, or your parents, if your parents are wrong, respectfully say to dad and mom, Dad, mom, that's not right, dad. That's not right, mom. And dad and mom would appreciate who you are. And it would be endorsed that you are a truthful person. Or akrabin, your relatives, close relatives. Be honest. Be just. Yakun ghaniyan aw fakiran fallahu awla bihima. Regardless whether they are rich or poor, Allah surely supersedes. Allah is first. وَلَا تَتَّبِعُوا الْهَوَىٰ أَن تَعْدِلُوا. Do not follow your desires to derail from the right path. Because when you do that, Allah knows it all. Brothers and sisters in Islam, justice. Never ever compromise justice. Be just and be honest, regardless whether it is of friends or foes, whether it is of close relatives or those of distant relatives. Be honest. Now, all counselees, all, with exception of very, very few who come to us, will like to convince you that they are the victim and the other is the victimizer. He did it, she did it, she did it, he did it. He's wrong, I'm right. I do not believe in overgeneralization. I do not. But more than 20 years of helping people, in most cases, people come to us and they want to convince us that they are right and the other is wrong. Well, open your eyes, counselor. Open your eyes. Be careful. Be mindful. With crocodile tears, because there are a lot of them. A lot of crocodile tears. They're going to tell you what they want, what they feel that would convince you that automatically you prosecute the other before listening to them. I've made a lot of mistakes. You prosecute them, you send them to jail, you send them to the hell fire before you even get to know them. Because of the sweet talk. Be careful. Be careful. Be calm and investigate. Don't listen to one side and come to conclusion that they are right and the other whom you are yet to listen to is wrong. Don't do it. What you should do is, if what you're telling me, yeah, if what you're telling me is what happened, you have a point. If what I'm listening is that which happened, then I think you have a point, but I need to listen to the other side. So be careful. Protect yourself with three parts approach. Three-part approach. One, ask, ask, ask. Meaning, a lot of questions. There is no way you can help this person or this family until you understand the problem. There is no way you can understand the problem without questions. Ask a lot of questions, because those questions would guide you. And sometimes they may not be able to answer you if they did not change your question, the same question, in a different manner. Ask questions. Ask a lot of questions. Stop giving lecture. You're not giving a lecture. No, you need to understand the problem before advising them. And the only way you can understand them is after you had listened to them. And the only way, you have to dig. You have to ask questions. And sometimes what they demonstrate, regardless verbal or non-verbal, may be symptoms. Maybe symptoms. The real problem is hidden. By questioning, you would come to understand. For example, she said, I'm no more interested in the relationship. I'm no more marrying him. Done. In our culture, most Islamic societies, except us in America here, sexual or intimacy is not something to be discussed with anybody, not even the imam, less indirect. So she said she is no more interested in the relationship. Ask questions, including, tell me, what about your intimacy, your relationship? Sometimes you would be surprised. So please, one, ask questions are necessary. Two, investigate. After asking questions, investigate. You perhaps may need to ask somebody else in the family who knows about this issue. Because it is only after your investigation that it will become apparent, be very clear to you. So remember to investigate. Don't sit down only in your office without perhaps calling somebody here and there to inquire of what had happened. But be very careful. Be very careful when you involve in a third party in the relationship during your questioning or investigation. Be very careful. And then the last one, 3, consult, if necessary, consult a team of counselors. And I mean trustworthy team, a team. I did mention in our book, one of my colleagues, very trustworthy person, Alaji Bawa. He was in Washington, D.C., a Ghanaian, and had a shop known as Kobos. There have been times when I would call him and I would share with him a situation and we will discuss it. not only intellectually, but sometimes emotionally. And, looking at it from all angles. And wallahi, in most cases, our joint relationship had helped a lot of families. Likewise, I have mentioned in our book, Dr. Niaz, Ahmed Niaz, the current president's brother Zubair's father. When I started ICCD, he was a friend and a colleague. He's a doctor. And sometimes issues that has to do with his field, I would consult him. And together we wrote beautiful articles about organ donations and all that. So do not rely only on yourself. No. Rely on Allah and have a team. I mean, trustworthy team of counselors who would help you when you need an advice. This surely will help us. Well, it is almost 33 minutes now, or 35 minutes, and we would like to make sure that not exceeding at least 40 minutes. And I've advised us, please, your questions are necessary. Osman Alfa Ladan, Barakallah Fik, Nazir, MashaAllah, Sister Huda, Maman Saibu, and Intisar, Yari and Ahlul Sunnah. May Allah bless all of you. But try, some of you, I know you have the book. Please go through the book, because this time I've mentioned the page that we are reading, so that you can go through it and inshallah ask questions the next time we come. So when we are done with the next session, we will have to at least get a break and concentrate on asking questions. I'm going to ask you questions. Please don't run away, inshallah. But may Allah continue to bless us. May Allah continue to protect us. Inshallah, we'll see you again, by the will of Allah, on Friday at 7 p.m. Inshallah, for our marital counseling. And for our tafsir is on Sundays at 12 p.m. Eastern Time. So brothers and sisters in Islam, inshallah, we will stop here. May Allah bless us. May Allah protect us. May Allah continue to guide us. ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار. ربنا تقبل منا إنك أنت السميع العليم وتب علينا إنك أنت التواب الرحيم. May Allah bless you all. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah wa barakatuh. MashaAllah.